So you're a great finisher.
Sure am.
Oh yeah. You've got a rocket of a shot. And given the time and space,
Go on.
you can make things happen.
Indeedy doody.
Trouble is, there's defenders. And in a game, no matter what you try, you can't create the space to realize your true potential.
So today, we're going to fix that.
Oh yeah. Jumping into 4 of the most important turns that are not only a little stylish, but performed at speed will become one of your most useful assets as a striker. We'll talk through the benefits of each of the skills and some tips to really sell the turn, as well as some of the limitations and when you would be best to perform one over the other to really get the most out of your newfound techers. All of this with the goal to create the space you've been desiring. First up, the inside of the foot. Now, by far the easiest to perform, mostly due to being one of the first skills you learn. The touch with the inner part of your foot is extremely versatile. Performed well can be a surefire way of creating a yard of real estate for all of the activities. Whether you're looking to touch back into the space away from the defender, or using the defender as a pivot point to get a strike on goal. Being able to receive the ball with a progressive touch away from your opponent and into the space is a great way of retaining possession and creating an opportunity when there doesn't seem to be much on.
Absolutely outstanding.
Now, in order for this guide to be effective, it's important that it's done at speed and into the space, close enough to still be in control, but far enough to prevent an outstretched leg from interfering. Now, this is where the limitations can be apparent. Being a striker, you'll often have a defender in close proximity, and to retain possession means to be aware of their presence. That can be a glance over your shoulder before receiving the ball, or if they're really tight, using your arms to feel where they're located and to create space between you and the ball.
Now, controlling the ball with the inside of your foot can reduce your ability to have that big imposing frame like you see of other techniques, which can lead to defenders intercepting the ball as it's coming into your feet.
So ensuring you're using that planting leg as a barrier will ensure you're able to protect the ball and pivot around the defender. Add a nice little drop of the shoulder to really sell the dummy. Next up, the outside. For me, this is the most valuable, versatile turn there is. Using the soft outside part of the foot when you're first starting out should be one of your priorities. It's great for dribbling, stopping, shielding, and of course turning. Nailing this first time touch and turn will leave a lot of defenders out to dry.
Oh yeah.
Now the key is the planting leg, and this serves 2 main functions. As with the inside turn, it's a great way of creating a barrier and protecting the ball, but it also serves as the power to push off, making for a super speedy transition into the space.
Now, we're specifically talking about turning the defender today, so we have to assume that they're in close proximity and on our tail. So we have to stick out our feelers to know where they are located. As that ball comes towards us, we also go towards the ball. That's really important.
From there, this is where the outside really comes into its own. Planting that standing leg, we can create the most amount of distance between the ball and the defender, using the ball's momentum spinning into the pocket. Now, one of the limitations with the outside turn is that unlike the first touch we just talked about, which puts you onto your strong side ready to strike, you're on your weaker side, potentially sacrificing some accuracy. Otherwise, practicing your weak foot is a priority. I'll leave a link up tops for you to check out. Now for my favourite turn, the back foot. This guy is by no means the most versatile, but such a useful tool to have in your back pocket. This again is utilising the inside part of the foot, which we already know is a lovely big surface in which to control the ball. Odegaard is an expert in this turn, constantly leaning on it to break the lines, transitioning onto the attack. But it doesn't come without its setbacks. This requires a great deal of awareness to where your opponent is located, so even more important that you scan before you receive the ball, and nailing the use of the arms to feel your opponent's presence. Ball direction, so the angle in which it's arriving, plus defender's location is the key in making this work well. Incredibly satisfying when it comes off, kind of brutal when it doesn't. It's that front leg that plants that really allows this to happen. Again, going towards the ball, that leg loads into the ground, first becoming the barrier like we've mentioned, but then it becomes the push off to transition into the space. Now this is most effective when you can feel the defender trying to nick the ball. It's that little drop of the shoulder, whilst feeling their location, that really puts them out of position. Nice. Last up is the drag. Now I use this one a lot, and researching clips for this video, it showed up many times in many ways. I didn't realize how popular it was, and I think that's got to do with the audacious nature of the turn, the riskiest by far of the four. This turn puts the ball in prime snatchable real estate for the defender. And similar to the back foot turn, this utilizes the delicate internal parts of the foot as you pirouette out of the pressure. Now this is best used when you've managed to create a yard of space between you and the defender. You place a good old planting leg beyond the ball for, of course, the protection, but also to pivot around, caressing the ball with a swipe of the dominant foot. Now the transfer of weight as you plant down is what sells this move, throwing off the defender's balance. Beautiful. And we need to make sure not to attempt this when the defender is right on your tail.
Unless, of course, your feint is exceptional, which I'm sure it is.
Now these are just 4 of the most common turns you can look to add to your game to beat defenders. Nailing just a couple for each exit point is going to give you plenty of variety as a striker, allowing you to create those little pockets of space, giving you the upper hand on your counterpart. But all of these turns, they each have one thing in common, and that's the ability to control the ball with just one touch into space. So if your first touch looks more like a bad case of trampoline foot,
then you might want to address this ASAP. And over here we have 5 drills to get this bad boy under control once and for all. See you over there.